In Soweto's Snake Park, Thokozile Mntambo is gearing up for a battle. Her weapons of war, a laptop and a questionnaire.
We went door to door doing research, asking people how the tailings are actually affecting their health.
Thogo and her volunteers from her community are looking for proof that the sicknesses they see here are caused by mine waste or tailings.
Mining companies not consulting communities, but them receiving mining licenses while communities are being affected by the environmental degradation. We interviewed old people who lived in Snake Park. We interviewed people who are living with disabilities. We interviewed parents who have children who are living with disabilities. We interviewed people who are living chronic illness like asthma and lung cancer.
About a third of all gold ever mined came from South Africa, buried in the rocks as deep as 3 kilometers underground. As the city of Johannesburg grew, a layer of pollution spread over the area. When mining companies had taken all the gold they could, they left behind harmful waste. Things like chemicals and heavy metals, which Thogo believes have impacted her family in Snake Park.
My sister gave birth to a child with cerebral palsy. She was staying here for like 5 years. Yeah? Her child, she cannot walk even now. She stays at Allen Klein, the care center, because now my sister passed away. My mom also passed away because she had breathing problems. My brother has asthma. I'm also asthmatic. Every time when I go to the clinic or to the hospital, they tell me, do you smoke? I don't smoke, but they can see when they're doing x-rays, there's a lot of dust in my lungs and stuff. And it's not only happening to me, it's happening to everyone.
The answer is to clean up the dumps. It's what Thogo and her friends tried to do by planting sunflowers that would soak up toxins from the soil. But now they're not allowed on the dump, and the sunflower project has died. The government can't afford to clean up these dumps. Yet, when gold prices go up, companies still come in to try and make money from whatever gold is left. Pan-African Resources, listed on the London Stock Exchange, now has a license to re-mine tailings.
Our concurrent environmental rehabilitation of these historic tailings deposits is already improving air and water quality in the area.
Thogo says Pan-African, which has barred entry to the dump, hasn't told them what they're planning to do to make it safe.
And now there comes Pan-African, they're talking about re-mining. To communities is unjust because it's exclusion. So what I want the just transition to be just, because now it's unjust. For it to be just, it must work for everyone.
Thogo volunteers for Benchmarks, a foundation that keeps an eye on multinational companies and their responsibility to local communities. Benchmarks thinks Snake Park is heading for disaster.
We have global warming or this environmental catastrophe that is now happening where you have extreme heats, extreme rains. One of the catastrophe is for that tailing to break entirely because of the rain. It has broken, it has a crack.
Benchmarks brought in an international expert on tailings dams to say if Snake Park is safe.
The person was so devastated to see the conditions of that tailing. And for Pan-African to be doing something about it now, so the worst case scenario with the extreme weather is for that tailing to entirely break into that community.
Pan-African Resources told us that rehabilitation plans at the site kicked off in September, and independent reports show there's no danger of the tailings dam collapsing.
We want change, and we want people to communities to be involved in decision making. This is how you do it with communities. You don't just come with a jargon of papers and you explain and you expect people who are illiterate to read 100 copies of the environmental assessment plan. Like, it doesn't make sense. Make it simple for communities to understand.
Pan-African says it's the local government's job to deal with people living so close to the tailings dam, and the company has talked with some community members and is watching dust levels at Snake Park. They plan to do a health check in 2025 to see if there's any risk from radiation.